Hi everybody, today I'm covering final exam review. So I have posted the final exam review on Canvas on the home page under final exam review. You can have them printed or you can keep the file open because I am not going to write every single problem on my whiteboard. So I will be solving the problems. You have to keep it open. I'm going to divide into 4 parts. There are 56 questions on the review. So each part I'm going to do 14 questions. Okay, so today I'm going to do 1 through 14. So the first one, we are given a graph and we have to identify f of -2. So you go to -2 on the x-axis and see where the graph is meeting. So when the graph is like this. So on -2, if you go and see, it's meeting at the point which is -4. So the answer is -4. B, you have to find the zeros. Zeros means all the x-intercepts are zeros. So the zeros are, this is a 0, this is a 0, this one is a 0. So you have to check on the graph, the zeros are negative. I can just write the zeros as -5 and 0 and 2. So this is -5, 0 and 2. And we have to write the domain. So the domain is the x-axis. So the graph, it started from, you see the arrow here, but it stops at the point 4. So the domain is going to be -infinity, and 4 is not open. It's not closed. That means we cannot include that 4. So it's going to be -infinity, comma 4. And if you look at the graph for the range, so the range is the y-axis. So it started from -4 and it goes all the way up to positive infinity. So -4 is included, so I have to put the closed interval. And the next one, we have to see where the function is increasing and decreasing. So let's first find the intervals where the graph is increasing, and then we'll write where the graph is decreasing. So it's increasing means it goes from here up there, but you have to look at only the x values. Okay, so it increasing from -2 to +1. And again, it's increasing from here, which is 3 to 4. So make sure you how to identify the increasing and decreasing here. And then the decreasing is going to be, I have to go back to D. The decreasing is from negative infinity to -2, and from 1 to 3. This decrease. Okay. And the last question is D. Find the values of x which the given has a maximum, and what is the minimum, the maximum or the minimum. So if you look at the graph, you can find the maximum is the maximum, the highest point. So I'm going to write so f has a maximum at x equal to 1, and the maximum is, the relative maximum is 2. And there are 2 minimum at x equals -2, and the minimum is -4. And f has a minimum at x equals 3, and the minimum is -2. Okay. Then number 2. You have to determine the intervals where the following function is increasing and decreasing. So increasing means it's going to go up, and decreasing, if you look at the function, then you have to say where it's increasing and decreasing. So it is increasing. Let me graph this first, and then let me put where it is decreasing and the constant. So let me put the graph here. So this is our graph. So if you look at the graph, it's increasing. It's increasing from -4, this is -4, to 3. -4 to -3. Because it goes, and then it goes right here. And then it's decreasing from 2 to 4. And it's you have to look at only the x values, and it's constant from -3 to 2. And let's write the domain and the range. So the domain is going to be -4 to 4, and the range is -1 to 3. So this is the range. It goes from -1 to 3, and the domain is -4 to +4. Okay. Okay. Now going to do number 3. Find the difference quotient. So we have to find f of x plus h minus f of x over h. There are two problems here. The first one is f of x equals x squared minus x minus 2. So first we have to find f of x plus h. That means we have to replace all the x by x plus h. So we get f of x plus h equal to x plus h squared means x plus h times x plus h minus of x plus h minus 2. So for the x plus h here, so we get x squared plus hx plus hx plus h squared, and distribute the minus here, so we get x minus h minus 2. So we get f of x plus h equals x squared. These two are like terms, so combine them. Minus x minus h minus 2. So this is our f of x plus h. Now we have to find f of x plus h minus f of x all over 2. I'm sorry. All over h. Let's disturb right my phone. Okay, equals. So write f of x plus h from here. This is our f of x plus h. So it's going to be a long one. So I'm going to write in the next step. Well, like x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. And then this is f of x plus h minus f of x. F of x is x squared minus x minus 2 all over h. So what do we get? I think I have to erase this one. So we get f of x plus h minus f of x over h equal to. So now I'm going to remove all the brackets. Minus h minus 2 minus x squared. So now minus everything, you have to switch here because negative. I have to distribute this, so everything becomes opposite. Now we can cancel the x squared, x, 2, 2. So finally we are getting 2xh plus h squared minus h over h. So if you divide each one of them by h, we get 2x plus h minus 1. So this is the difference quotient. And all the answers, you can check your answer key as well. The answers are all given at the back. Okay, next. So I'm going to leave part B for you to practice. So I'm going on to the number 4. If square root function is reflected over the y-axis and shifted 2 units down, what is the resulting function? So we have to write the square root function. So the square root function is, suppose if the square root function is g of x, let's take this one. So if it is reflected along the x-axis, then I'm going to write the new f of x. So when you reflect, it's going to be square root of negative x, and when it's shifted 2 units down, it's going to be minus 2 like this. And we have to write the domain of this function. going to be negative 8, comma 0, and the graph is given. So if you put it on your graphing calculator, you can see how the graph looks, but it's basically a reflecting along the x-axis, sorry, or the y-axis, and then you're shifting 2 units down. So this is how the graph is going to be. And the next graph is problem number 5 is if the function f of x equals the absolute value of x is shifted 3 units to the left and vertically stretched by a factor of 4, what is the resulting function? And sketch the graph, and you have to write the domain. So you have to write the new function for the given information. So the new function is going to be f of x equal to 4 times x plus 3 with the absolute value. And the domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. So this is the, and then you can check the graph on your graphing calculator. And then for the function f of x shown below is the transformations to sketch the graph of f of x 3 plus 2. And you can look at the graph. The answer, okay. So to graph number 6, we have to first identify the points on the graph. On the graph, the points are points from the graph or I'm just listing all the points, negative 1, comma 0, 1, comma 0, negative 2, negative 1, and negative 3, comma 2. I just picked 4 or 5 points. So I put 4 points. Now I have to graph f of x minus 3 plus 2. This means this negative 3 means you have to add 3 to the x values, and 2 means plus 2 to y values. Okay, because this means we are moving 2 units up, and this means we are going 3 units to the right. So for these points, so add 3, so we get 2, comma 2, then 4, comma 2, then we get 1, comma 1, and then we get 0, comma 4. So now when you can see the graph on your answer key. So when we graph this one, we have 2, comma 2, 4, comma 2, comma 2, 4, comma 2, and then 1, comma 1, and then 0, comma 4. So it's going to look like this. Graph will be looking like this. Okay. Well, you can stop right here if you want to, because it didn't go anymore. Anyway, so that is the final answer. Let's go to number 5. Number 6. Sorry, we are done number 6. Number 7. So determine algebraically whether the following functions are even or odd or neither. So I'm going to do a couple of them. You can try this, the last one. So first one, I'm going to do 7a. We have f of x equal to 3x to the 4 minus 2x squared. To check if it is even or odd, you have to replace all the x by negative x. So I'm replacing all the x by negative x. So we get f of negative x equal to 3 times negative x to the power 4 is positive x to the 4, and negative x to the power square is positive x squared. So we are getting the same as the original. If you look at this one, it is same as the original. If you get the same function, then it is even. Let's check B. We have g of x equals 2x to the 5th plus x. So again, say the rule is the same for even or odd. You just have to replace the x by negative x. So I'm going to replace x by negative x. So g of negative x equals negative, since the power is odd, it's going to be negative, and it's negative. And if you look at this one, it's the opposite of the original one. If you look at, compare this with the original one, this way signs have been switched. That means it's the opposite of the original function. So when you get the opposite, it's going to be odd function. And okay, I will do the C as well. H of x equals 7x squared plus 5x minus 1. Again, we are going to replace the x by negative x. So the first one is going to be positive because the power is even. The next one is going to be negative because the power is odd, because it's 1 here. But if you compare this with the original one, they are not same, they are not opposite either. So in this case, it's neither even nor odd. So the conclusion, even means f of negative x has to be f of x, the original one. Odd means opposite. You will get f of negative x equal to negative of, neither is neither even nor odd. Okay. So next one we are going to find some, we are going to do some algebra of the given functions. We are given f of x equals x squared minus 9x, g of x equals 2x plus 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6 questions. First one is f plus g of x. By definition, this is going to be f of x plus g of x. So what is f of x given? Which is x squared minus 9x. And so I'm plugging in for f of x, and g of x is 2x plus 3. So now we are going to remove the brackets and collect the like terms. So these are like terms. So we get x squared minus 7x plus 3. So this is f plus g of x. Next part B, we have to find f minus g of x. Again, by definition, this is going to be f of x minus g of x. So write the f of x inside brackets. We'll remove the brackets in the next step. Okay, now we're going to remove the brackets. So I'm going to write the first step equal to x squared minus 9x, and next distribute this negative sign, so we get to switch the into opposite sign. Now combine these two like terms, so we get f minus g of x equal to x squared minus 11x minus 2. So this is the answer for part B. Next one, f times g of x. That means we have to multiply using FOIL method because these are binomials. I have to write then let's plug in x, which is x squared minus 9x, and g is 2x plus 3. Now FOIL that. So we get 2x to the third plus 3x squared minus 18x squared minus 27x. I'll combine the like term, so we get minus 15x squared minus 27x. And every time you do, you have to make sure you check your answers as well. Next, we're going to do the division. D is division, which is f over g of x. This is by definition f of x over g of x. So we get x squared minus 9x over 2x plus 3. Next, we're going to do g composition f of x, which is by definition it's going to be g of f of x. That means g, what is f of x? We are given x squared minus 9x. So we're going to plug this in g. G is actually 2x plus 3. So we are going to put this on x. You're plugging in f into g. So now distribute and combine the like terms. So we get 2x squared minus 18x plus 3, and there is no like terms. So that is our answer. Okay. The next one is f composition g. So we do the other way. So we're going to do f composition g of x, which is by definition it's going to be f of g of x. So that means f, what is g? G of x is 2x plus 3. So we're going to plug this one into, plus the whole thing into f. F is x squared minus 9x. So we're going to plug this 2x plus 3 into that. What that means is 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And 9 plus 9 times 2x plus 3. So we're going to FOIL FOIL and combine the like terms. Here we are going to distribute. So if you look at the like terms, 6x plus 6x, 12x minus 18x, negative 6x. And 9 minus 18, so 9 minus 27 is negative 8. And going to do number 9. The formula S equals 7 halves times square root of 2d can be used to approximate the speed in miles per hour of a car that has left skid marks of length d in feet. How far will a car skid at 70 miles per hour? So the S is given as 70, so we have to find that the distance. Okay, so now we have to first get rid of that. We have to move the 2, so multiply both sides by 2, so we can cancel the 2 here, so we get 140 equals 7 times square root of 2d. Now I have to move the 7 to the other side, so divide by 7, so 20 equals square root of 2d. We have to get the d, so square both sides. So we get 400 equals 2d divided by 2. So we get d equals 200 miles per, sorry, this is the distance. It's given in terms of feet, so the d is, the distance is 200 feet. Next, number 10. The function f of x equals 27x to the power 1/3 models the number of plant species f of x on an island in terms of the area x in square miles. What is the area of an island that has 54? So the f of x is given as 54. So we have to find the x value. Okay, so the x is this distance, the area in square miles. So first we have to divide both sides by 27. So it's going to be 2. Now since it's 1/3, the cube root, we have to cube both sides. We have to cube both sides. So 2 cube is 8, and then the cube gets cancelled. So it's given in terms of miles, so x equals 8 miles. Okay. It's the mile square because it's Earth square miles because it's the area of the island. And number 11, we are given a piecewise function. So I'm going to write the function here. X less than 0, and 2 when x is 0, and 2x minus 1 when x is greater than 2. Okay, so we have to find f of -2. -2 means it is less than 0. -2 is less than 0. So it belongs to the first group. So f of -2, we have to plug in -2 square plus 1, which is 4 plus 1, which is 5. So f of -2 is going to be 5. And then we have to find f of 1. F of 1 is again so for f of x equals 1, if you go back and check, all the numbers for less than 0 is given, greater than 2 is given. For 1, there's nothing given, so the answer is undefined. And the last one is f of 3. F of 3 means, f of 3. It is, which is greater than, 3 is greater than 2. So we have to use the last function, 2x minus 1. This is for all the numbers greater than 2. So f of 3 is 2 times 3 minus 1, which is going to be 5. So the next part is we have to graph this function. So part B is graph this function. So we're going to graph. So we have to make tables for x less than 0 and x equal to 0. So only 1 point, and x greater than 2. So you can say 0, -1, -2, -3. For 2, 0, and 2. And for greater than 2, we can make a table here. 2, 3, and 4. So for here, the function is x squared plus 1. Here it's going to be 2x minus 1. So 0 is 1, -1 is 0, -2 is 5, sorry, -1 is 2, -2 is 5, -3 is 10. This is going to be just 1 point. Here it's 2x minus 1. When I put 2, it's going to be 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so we're going to graph this. So let's first graph the 0, 1, -1, 2, -2, 5. So it goes like this. So it's going to, it's an infinite curve. Okay. And the next one is 0, 2 is just a one single point, 0, 2. And the third one is 2, 3, 3, 5, and 4, 7. 2 is not included. And here also 0 is not included. I have to put open circle. Okay. So this one is kind of because it's it's kind of parabola. 1, -1. 2 and negative 310. So it's going to be curvy because it's a crab. This is the crab. The next one is a point. This different. And this is a straight. So that is what you see here. It's a point. I'm going to leave note 12 for you to practice. I'm going to do the 13. Okay. So number 13, we have a word problem here. A company charting its profit notices that the relationship between the number of units sold and the profit P is linear. So part A, if 200 units results in 3,100 profit,